Good morning, Dana.
Good morning, Helena. I see that you're out and about, clients all over the lower mainland this week.
Yes, there are, and did another presentation in the Lower Mainland about hypnosis.
Oh, fabulous. Excellent. Okay, good. All right. So we are today, as usual, going to be going through the 7 keys for doing emotion coach session. I'm Dana J. Smithers, and Helena Jenick and I are the Emotion Code Divas. So our intention and purpose for this show is to provide you with educational piece so you can learn something, whether it's about the law of attraction, hypnosis, nutrition, all sorts of things we like to educate people about your life's purpose, what makes you tick. And then we will be doing some healing and releasing of emotion. So today's episode 14 is keeping with the theme for April, which has been about business abundance. So today we're going to be talking about and clearing business sales blocks. And I will be doing the educational piece on the law of attraction there, as I was a sales manager for $1 billion company and I trained hundreds and hundreds of sales reps. And if you are an entrepreneur, you are 100% sales commission based. Now, a lot of people don't think about that when they become an entrepreneur because they're so passionate about what they're doing. But we all get those sales blocks. Helena's had them, I've had them, but we're going to give you some tools and tips of ways to release those for you. So this is how we have been trained through Dr. Bradley Nelson, and you can buy his book called The Emotion Code. And we are certified emotion code practitioners, so we've gone through training, a practicum, minimum of 30 clients, and I know I've done hundreds of clients now over the last year and a half, and all of them with something different. But today we're working with entrepreneurs or people that are in a job that requires them to be really good at sales. So, Helena, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and I'm just going to see who's watching us today.
So I'm Helena Jenikin. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist as well as a certified emotion code practitioner. I help men and women who are wanting to stop smoking. That's my specialty. I am the StopSmokingLady.com. People release excess weight and also overcome medical anxiety. That is what I specialize. Oh, and you can find me at flourishhypnosis.com. And if you're really interested in the emotion code, then just add a / emotion code. I'm located actually on Vancouver Island. I see people in my office there, but Dana, my emotion code practice has really grown. I recently on Saturday was working with someone in Dubai. And also, again, I have a new client in Germany and the UK. Do I have your audio, Dana?
Yeah, sorry, just trying to close that off right now.
Excellent. Good.
Good.
Hey,
Yeah, that's fabulous. And, that's the wonderful thing about the emotion code is we can have clients all over the world. I have clients in Australia, I have clients in Ireland, in England, lots in the United States, and of course, ones in Canada. So it's not necessary that anybody is local for us to work with them because we can work on the phone or we may, in fact, be working with them. Sometimes I get emails from people that have been clients before that just need a little check-in. So why don't we go ahead and go through the 7 steps then, Helena. So I'll just hold the first one up, which is asking for
your permission. We always ask our clients for the permission to work with them energetically. Can't just go up to a stranger and start to want to work with them and do the emotion code. And also, sometimes our clients ask us to work on their neighbor or their husband or something like that. And as an adult always has to give permission. However, a parent can give permission to work on their minor child and or their pet.
Right. Yeah. One of the things I'd like to do more of is I've worked with cats and dogs, but I definitely like to work with horses. So I know some people that have some horse farms and things, and there's also several therapeutic riding schools that we have in the Lower Mainland where those horses are there to heal the young adults and the children, but also they're there for their own healing as well. And some of them come from very abused places, so it's something that I'm going to be looking into this summer for sure.
Excellent. So
All right.
Dennis,
So the second thing
next,
is proxy. Exactly. So what proxy means is, as we've just said, if somebody's not there with us and we can't do the muscle testing on them, because that's how we test for the blocked emotions in the subconscious is by doing muscle testing. So if somebody's not there with us, we've asked their permission and we become their proxy. So just like in a board meeting, if you're not there to make a vote, you put your vote down on paper, somebody submits it for you in your absence and with your permission. So it's the same thing that we do here. We always have to get that proxy. And the next thing is we're going to ask this question, and the viewer that we have today, Dawn, has indicated to us that she is a 10 with her sales calls blocks around her multi-level marketing business. So what's the severity all about, Helena?
So severity gives us and our client a measurement point. We're looking for where they're consciously feeling that they are on the level, 10 being severe, 1 being very low. Our goal is always to get it to a 0. We like to work on issues that are a 7, 8, 9, or a 10. The emotional intensity is very important.
Right.
Because I think it also helps the person's desire level to move forward. And it's really interesting. Consciously, we'll ask the person about their severity level, but then when we're actually doing the session, we'll ask for the subconscious mind to give us the severity level, and often that's a different number.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll muscle test it anyway. So the next thing that we're actually going to be talking about is
muscle testing.
Muscle testing, yeah. So Helena and I both have a different way of doing it. So we are going to use a muscle testing method that works for us. And since a person isn't here, if a person was here, we might do the more common one, which is look at a person's arm and it's yes or no. And again, with muscle testing, we're only asking yes or no questions with that. So the way that I do my muscle testing is I put my 2 index and thumb finger together. I take my other 2, my index and middle finger from the other hand, and I just ask the question, is my name Dana? And if it's a yes, it's nice and solid. Is my name Helena? Then it'll be no. So when we ask the questions, are there any trapped emotions preventing Dawn from successfully making sales calls? And if we get a yes, then we know we're on the right track. If we got a no, then we'd actually have to ask another question, because there's obviously something underlying there. So that's our job as emotion code practitioners, to figure out what's the best question to ask here. So it might be around worthiness, fear of success, fear of failure, could be all sorts of different things. Could be a level of sales, this is as far as we go, I'll never make any money over this line, and all sorts of things that could be going on that are blocking from moving forward. So that's what we're looking at. So what's the next thing that we're going to take a look at there, Helena?
Next thing is we're going to be muscle testing for trapped emotions located on the emotion code chart.
So this is the chart that we use. It's also in Dr. Bradley's book. So Helena, we're going to look at column
A.
I think that's, yep. and
column B.
And then
we're going to ask if it's in an odd row or an even row. And that then will get us down to one cell of 5 different trapped emotion or different negative emotions. And then we ask individually if it is the first one, the second, the third, or fourth, or fifth. And then we go about our business to release those trapped emotions. Now, Dana, how do we release those trapped emotions?
So we're going to be using a magnet. So this is my magnet. I don't know what magnet you've got with you today, but I've just got.
I got a series.
Oh, you got that one, yeah. I've got these ones, which are super solid magnets, and I do use different ones for different things. Last time I mentioned I have $100 magnet that I use working with people with abundance issues, with sales blocks. You know, they've hit a certain level and they think they can't go anymore. So I just like to do it. It's just kind of fun. It's all about intention, right? So we're going to take this magnet and Helena, do you want to show just what we're going to do here with that?
So, I'll have my magnets here, and we actually release the energy, the trapped emotion, which is energy, out of the physical systems. Once we identify it, it pops out into our from our physical into our energetic system, and then we take the magnets, kind of like canceling on a credit card. If you took a magnet on a credit card, and we wipe it through our energetic system. And in Chinese medicine, they say that the governing meridian starts here underneath the nose, and it goes all the way up down to the tailbone. And so what we're going to do is, what I'm going to be doing is doing this emotion over my head and wiping 3 times to release a negative trapped emotion. If you start to see me doing this 10 times, that means I found an inherited trapped emotion, and that's an emotion that's been passed down through from either parents or grandparents or even further back at the time of conception. What's really terrific about finding an inherited emotion is that often people go, I don't know why I feel so sad all the time. There's nothing to be sad about. Well, it wasn't yours to start with, and let's just release that. Yeah. So that's magnet. And our last key is, I saw you doing it earlier, Dana, hydrated practitioner. Very important to be hydrated. Yeah. Why is that, Dana?
Well, we're all about the energy in our body, right? And when we have more water, that energy can run more easily through the water that's in our body. And it's also good that our client is hydrated, because that just helps us remove that energy as well. When we were talking about energy just a minute ago, it just reminded me that I forgot to show the card that I pulled today. I did it in my live show. It's called Energy Work. And I thought, well, that's an interesting card today, because we're talking about sales blocks and all of that. And I thought, of course, it's perfect, right? Everything is energy. So when I'll talk a little bit more about law of attraction and the blocks that happen there, but it says life can be electrifying because its very essence is energy. So if you're excited about doing your sales calls, that's a good thing, because the law of attraction is just going to match those vibrations, and people are going to be excited to hear from you. So life can be electrifying because its very essence is energy. Your body is a remarkable energy field that will positively respond to loving treatments. Your hands and heart are activated to give healing energy to your loved ones and clients. And it says, and clients, right? So this isn't just necessarily about energy, energy work, healing energy work. This is all about the energy, because that's all we are, is energy. So we have a few people watching. Looks like a few people have had some technical issues as well, as we had a little thing this morning, but we're over that. So a big hi to Sylvia Bellini, who's watching. And Dawn Skewers has joined us, and Dawn has given us permission to be her proxy. She was having technical difficulties as well. So Dawn, if you wouldn't mind, could you just tell us what your MLM business is? I know your age, and Helena and I have that, and we can work with that if we need to. And also, you've told us that you do have some sales blocks around making those calls, but we'd just like to know what business you're in, and then Helena will go ahead, and her severity was a 10.
Ah, yes.
Helena, her severity was a 10. So when you go ahead and start that, we'll just find out, see if Dawn's going to let us know there. Yeah, we're just doing a few little things here. Yeah, so anyway, you can get started on that, Helena, and I'm going to do our education piece here
Hmm.
about attracting ideal clients as well as attracting the abundance that you want and feeling good about your sales calls. So, as a certified law of attraction trainer, I like to always go back to the most basic, I call it law of attraction 101 relationship that there is. So when you're going to make those sales calls, what I say is, set aside specific days to do your sales calls, whether they're if you're out and working with oh, Helena, she's let us know what it is. It's essential
Mhm.
oils
Yes.
and Vox Life.
Okay, good.
Okay?
I'm going what is Vox Life? That's an interesting, I never came
Yeah.
across that one.
Can you tell us what that is, Dawn? We know the essential oils because Helena has used lots of those and I think
Love,
sold them at one time too, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I love essential oils.
Yeah.
But
All right. So
so,
let's get to the sales blocks from a law of attraction perspective. So I trained hundreds and hundreds of sales reps when I was in the corporate world. And of course, as an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur for about 15 years now. Anyone that's an entrepreneur, you're going to be on 100% commission. So if that frightens you, then maybe being an entrepreneur is not necessarily the route for you to go. If you're passionate about something, maybe you need to get involved with a company that's doing that. But a good thing to do when you're going to do your sales calls is set your intention, put it out there to the universe, ask to be guided to attract the right clients that are a fit for the service or product that you have, because that's super important. And you absolutely have to be passionate about the product, 100% behind whatever it is you're selling to someone. And in essence, what you're really doing is finding out whether or not they want to have a relationship with you. And we know that not everybody wants to have a relationship with everybody. So some people are better suited to others. And from a vibrational perspective, are a vibrational match with one client over another. So the first thing that you need to do is set your intention. And as I say, I always go back to this 101. So work with this. Be mindful of the words that you're saying. And when I'm teaching new people, I always advise them, have a script. Have a script in front of you, keep making that own, keep massaging it, keep making it so that script feels really good to you, because that's the most important thing is, right? It's how you feel about what you say or think. So if you're not feeling good about making the sales calls, then don't do them. Stop. Do something else. Come back at another time when you feel better about it. Sit down, get your list out of your prospects or your follow-up clients, have that list there. Make sure you're making notes, whether you're doing it on your computer in something like Salesforce or any other CRM program that you've got, or even if you're just working in Excel or even from a Word document. So it's always about how you feel. So in doing that, you've got to be mindful of your words. What are you saying to yourself? So if you find that you're need to just sort of reset your vibe, remember this one. So always ask the question, reset the vibe. So ask yourself, so what do you want? So you want the outcome to be that you build a great relationship with the products or service that you have to sell with the person that you're going to talk to, because that's what you want to do. So those are your thoughts, and the vibe is that mood or feeling that you're going to have when you're making those calls. So make those calls when you feel good. If you get rolling and it's working, then just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, because the law of attraction's job is to match your vibration. So that's what it's going to do. And that is where you get the results that you're looking for. So think about what you're saying, but more importantly, think about how you're feeling and get yourself in a good space. I always know in the morning when I wake up kind of what kind of day I'm going to have. And if I feel like the day's a little bit shaky, then I'll just sit with myself. I mean, I'm a meditator, so I may meditate every day. And I'll listen to something inspirational, and then I'll start to use that word track. I'm in the process of attracting the best clients for my business who are interested in the service or product that I am selling. So it's, you don't, if you're good with affirmations, do them and they work. But if not, then use that phrase, I'm in the process of attracting my ideal clients, and I'm in the process of attracting people that will be super excited about the product or service that I have to sell. So you see how that's all really important there. So Helena's still working a little bit more. So the last thing, I just want to remind you about this, the 3-step deliberate law of attraction process, right? So even before you start in your business, when you're sitting down, or if you are actually a leader in the MLM business, maybe you're in a director position or you're building your team, right? Get everybody together and do this together. What is it that they want, right? Take a look at how are you going to raise that vibration, and then that third step is allowing it. So I always say, if you get a few good people that you're talking to and you feel good, and even if they're not buying from you, I just say celebrate, right? Celebrate the closeness of the match, because that's what's important. If it's not perfect the first time, there's going to be more. The universe is abundant. There are millions of people out there who want what you have, and that's part of how you're going to raise your vibration, as well as doing emotion code session. So Helena, it looks like you finished there with Dawn, so let's just find out.
Yes.
So I'm just looking at Dawn. So she's selling the essential oils and Vox Life. Vox Life of human performance technology, socks and insoles. So I had not heard about that before, so that's interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so let's see what you found out. What were some of her trapped emotions? And remember, we're using this chart that Helena's working from, and she's just going down column A, B, even or odd. So what showed up for Dawn?
So I asked actually 2 questions. So I asked if I confirmed that the subconscious mind said the sales blocks were a 10. And then there weren't too many emotions to release, but it was interesting. Decisiveness, I was working on decisiveness as you started to decide. You were talking about, do you love this product?
Yeah.
And is it something you want to sell? So that was interesting as that was coming up. So we released that. There was an inherited emotion of abandonment from the father.
Okay.
And we released that. And then let me just see here. The other one that was really interesting was overwhelmment. Yeah, overwhelmment was pretty much one of the last emotions to release.
Yeah.
Dan,
and that's very common in salespeople, right? Just overwhelmed with, as an entrepreneur, all the tasks that we have to do, right? It's just like the head is going, and also from law of attraction, right? Do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this? And all of a sudden, when we're looking for this clarity, we don't have it, right? And the focus, we're all over the place. And so what action steps can you take? If you take an action step and you haven't gotten rid of some of those trapped emotions, not much. You're not going to get the result that you want. You'll get more overwhelmed.
That's right. And just with overwhelmment, I know when I came to see you about a year ago, It's been now about a year ago we started. I came in and I said, "Oh, Dan, I want to do this and this and this and this and this," and you went, "Okay, that's great. For next week's session, I'd like you to fill out your calendar when you'd like to have all those done and when you're going to do them." I came back the following week and went, I think I need to drop a few things.
So let's just get focused, right? Yeah. And we did. And it's been, a very successful working relationship that we have. And then we got into doing emotion code. But, just watching you would be a great example of, doing emotion code with you, but also getting you focused. What is it that you really want? Because, as women, we can do a lot of different things. And as we journey through life, right, there's so many things. I could do this, I could do that, but it's really getting back. And especially if you're in multi-level marketing, it's a very specific focus, and it's generally very, everything is scripted, everything is there for you, but it's up to you to follow the process and the system. And if you're leading a team, you've got to get people motivated as well. And not everybody is going to be a fit
Nope.
for that at all.
And so there was also a trapped emotion of discouragement. That's now gone. And then I finished the question, and we got down to a 0 in the sale, making the sales, like the sales calls and the out there.
Okay.
But then I sort of went, wait a second, I want to ask one more question. So I started again, and I asked, how much do I believe, as Dawn, I can be successful in my MLM business? And it was like, no, not at all. And so all I needed to do was release one emotion, and that was worthless. And once I released the worthless trapped emotion, it was, I believe 100% I can be successful.
Yeah. And that it's belief that drives everything.
Yeah.
If you don't believe it, you're going to talk about the subconscious, because you might think, oh yeah, up here, yeah, right, yeah, I'm all excited, I'm going to do it, but what's that subconscious doing?
Yeah, that subconscious is actually the supercomputer. It's the part of your mind. Of an iceberg, it kind of represents that the 10% or 5% above the water is your conscious mind. And then you have that water break, which is the barrier between your conscious and your subconscious mind. But it's your subconscious mind that's the supercomputer. It's the part that's doing the heavy lifting. And it's where the beliefs lie. It's where our emotions, our imagination, our memories, our dreams, our morals, our ethics lie. So when the subconscious mind doesn't believe, you can think about it all you want with your mind. It just is not going to direct you or support you in your actions. But when your subconscious mind believes, it's on automatic pilot. It will direct you and drive you towards where you want to go.
Right. So that clarity, focus, and then the action is just going to come.
Yeah.
So Dawn says that thanks so much. I really have been feeling very overwhelmed. So that's good. And Dawn, just let us know too over the next few days how you're feeling. And Helena, let's talk a little bit about how people after a session, how they process things.
Yeah, that's really important. I had a lady call me. I done a session for her on Saturday evening, and she was feeling very stuck and overwhelmed and so forth. Sunday afternoon, she said that she was feeling absolutely fantastic, raring to go, lovely. And then all of a sudden on Monday, emotions were just pouring out of her. She just felt like crying at a drop of a hat, and she was in a very busy retail environment working, and all these energies were coming to her. And she just reached out to me. She's like, I'm just feeling so, I don't know what's going on. This is just the processing. And I had her take an Epsom salt bath and drink more water.
Yeah.
And she just felt so much better. But she's now ready for another emotion code session, because just like that onion, we peeled away some layers, and now there's some more stuff there. Exactly, the lemon. We peeled off some of the lemon. There's some more juicy stuff underneath there, and some of it's a little sour. And let's get rid of that to get to the sweetness of life. So many different ways people can feel. Often they just feel a lot lighter.
Yeah, absolutely. So just speaking of light, I'm just going to share this little meditation that I do when I feel overwhelmed. It's called the white light meditation, and you can do it for yourself or for anybody, but it's just working a little bit with the inner child. So it's just really sitting quietly in meditation and imagining that there is a white lotus flower on the top of your head, and light is coming through it and goes all through your body. And just be mindful of breathing in and out and breathing in that white light. And then invite your inner child in. Just take a look at her from ages from 3 to 9. And usually when I do inner child, it is from 3 to 9. But today it was interesting. It was actually when I was 3 months old. I don't know why, but I just went with it. I've never had that happen before. But again, if you're intuitive and things come in, then just allow them. And I just held her. And again, the universe is abundant. So I had the white light go into her head. And then we kind of joined in that ethereal body of ours, the white light, and just spread it out into my home, into my office. And you can also invite anybody in, like you just said, Helena. If you're in somebody else's office, or you're in somebody's space, or you're in a retail store, then just imagine the white light coming through you and just spread that out. And that will bring you some peace and some calm. And I just find it's a really quick meditation that you can do anytime. And also avoid the news. Avoid TV, looking at newspaper, or even on social media. I just go right past those ones that have all that negative energy to it, because that's what gets us overwhelmed in our day-to-day life. And then if you think you've got to pick up the phone and make sales calls, and now you're just feeling overwhelmed and you're not feeling good. And remember, from law of attraction, it's always about how you're feeling, about what you're saying or thinking. So if you're also kind of desperate and you know you've got to make these calls, but they're not working very well, just stop, do that little white light meditation, and that should be helpful for that. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I got a message from Barb Ashcroft, who you worked on last week, and she actually sent me a picture. She's got all her sales stuff out, all her programs going, and she said she's just zooming forward. So she was blocked last week, I think, with creative insecurity. So thanks. So she's thanking you, Helena, for doing that. So next week's show, which is episode 15, business procrastination blocks. Yeah, we all get them. And, there's law of attraction can help you with that and release those as well. But the procrastination, a lot of that happens, and I think most often is because you're not clear. You don't have the clarity on what it is you really want to do. And then again, if you've got so many things going on, then that whole overwhelm comes in, and all those other trapped emotions come up
Dana,
as well.
a few weeks ago, I had to do some paperwork and submit it by the end of the day, and I procrastinated. I thought that I was just busy, but actually, yeah, maybe I was procrastinating. But so I did a session on myself in the morning and set the intention by 10 p.m. that night it would be complete. And it just sat there on the side of the desk, and I knew that by 10 p.m. it would be complete, because that was my intention. I released out some procrastination and whatever else emotions around it. And probably about 8 o'clock, it was like, all right, time to do that. Just
Nice.
did it. And it was easy.
Yeah, so intention is critical. And I do emotion code sessions on myself all the time.
I did an emotion code session on my dog, Roxy.
Roxy, what's happening?
Yeah, she all of a sudden developed some skin issues. Now, she's a Westie, and they're known for skin issues, but she's 11 years old, never had any issues. And I'm thinking, oh, well, it's allergies, or maybe it's food. And we were driving in the car up to Courtney with Brian and my husband, and she started looking in a new spot on her body. And I thought, oh no, let's just see if there's any trapped emotions. Yeah. And it took me less than 5 minutes, and maybe about 5 emotions, and she stopped licking. She didn't lick the rest of the day or the next day, and her other sort of sores were starting to heal up.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. So. Yeah, and it really does work on animals, and I think, we're more in touch with dogs and cats, but like I say, my intention is to do some work on horses this summer, so I'm going to be doing that. So just want to say hello to Brooke Barlow.
Oh, yes, Brooke. Hello, Brooke.
Yeah, she says, hello, finally caught you live. You gals are awesome. Thank you. We appreciate that. Please do share this. We're still fairly new at doing the Emotion Code Divas show, and we'd just love to have more viewers and love to hear what's going on. So for next week, we're looking for someone that's in business and has the block of procrastination. So Helena, how can our viewers reach you?
They can reach me through my website, which is flourishhypnosis.com. And if you're interested in the emotion code, it's /emotion-code.
Right. Thanks. And you can find me at empoweredwomeninbusiness.com /emotion-code. code. And I actually have a emotion code session right after this with somebody that I met when I was doing a talk on your life purpose and sacred gifts. And it's interesting because, we all have blocked emotions. You can't be human and not have them. So let us know that if you enjoyed the show, please share it. And we will see you next week, same time, every Wednesday at 9:30. So thanks so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome day. And Dawn, just go ahead and let us know how things are going in the week for you.
Bye.